So today, the newest Helluva Boss episode, Season 2, Episode 9, Apology Tour released. Like usual, I'll give a quick synopsis of what happens in the episode and then move on to my review of it. So the episode picks up right after where Episode 8 left off. Blitz visits Stolas to try and talk to him and the pair argue. Stolas reveals he's going to a party hosted by Veronica with all of Blitz's exes. After, Blitz decides to go apologise to some of his past enemies. Once that's done, he shows up at the party hosted in the human world. Stolas arrives at the party, talks to Veronica, and then they perform the first song of the episode called All To You. Blitz talks to a drunk Stolas, and then Stolas leaves to dance with another demon. Blitz talks to Veronica and says he's going to become a better person. The episode ends with Blitz sitting in his car where he slams his head against the steering wheel. So with the synopsis covered, it's time to get into the things I liked. Apology Tour, like Full Moon, was dedicated to Stolitz, so I reckon people who aren't into that wouldn't really enjoy this episode, which is understandable. Personally, I like Stolitz, so I enjoyed it. The first thing I liked was how the episode tied into previous ones, like when we saw that Martha and Miss Mayberry are actually a couple in hell. It was really funny, cute, and it caught me off guard completely. I didn't think they would bring them back. I'm personally a fan of the enemies to lovers trope, so it'll be interesting to see if they return in future episodes. We also briefly saw some scenes like the aftermath of Lululand and the destroyed Dorks facility. I'm a huge fan of little references and throwbacks, so it was cool to see these. The animation of the episode, like usual, was fantastic. The human world had a really unique colour palette and it was just so fun to look at. It was way different from what we usually see, especially all the different characters inside the house. The variety of characters inside the party was unreal. One of the best parts of Helluva Boss is definitely the character designs, and the scenes reminded me a lot of Scott Pilgrim. As for the characters, this episode was of course about Stolas, Blitz and Veronica. It was great to see Veronica return and she definitely lived up to the hype. She performed 2 extra songs, being Handle Me and Over You, which played during some scenes in the background. They were fantastic and I really hope they eventually release them all on Spotify or YouTube. Stolas was amazing and I loved him being drunk. It really set him apart from previous episodes, and the voice acting from Bryce also sounded different. His performance of All To You was great and very memorable. You can really feel the heartbreak as he sings. Definitely one of the better songs of the season so far. I had no complaints about Blitz either. The ending of the episode leaves you hoping that he really does take all the lessons he's learned to heart, and that he tries to become a better person and hopefully win Stolas back. It was nice that they didn't just immediately have Stolas get back with Blitz. That would have been a bit of a cop-out, so I'm happy that Blitz has to actually work to get him back, and I'm really interested. We have the rest of Season 2 to find out if Blitz can succeed though. With the things I liked covered, it's time to get into the things I disliked. First off, I thought the pacing was extremely slow. Normally the episodes have an A and B plot. Apology Tour didn't have that and there wasn't any stakes to be raised. As a result, when the episode ended it felt a bit abrupt like the previous one. Apology Tour kind of flew in, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I think I've just been spoiled with the longer episodes a little. The writing and dialogue was hit or miss. I didn't really laugh at all and there wasn't many jokes. Normally the show is pretty packed with humour, but I felt that Apology Tour lacked it. I think the episode was carried by the emotional moments for sure. The writing definitely wasn't bad by any means, but I think it just wasn't as sharp as some of the previous episodes. On that same note, I feel like not much happened. It was basically an argument with Stolas and Blitz, the party in the human world, some more dialogue, a song, and then the episode ends. I think some people will label this episode as filler because of that, since there isn't really an overarching plot. One thing I think Apology Tour should have delved into deeper was Veronica and Blitz's relationship. We finally got an opportunity for that and I think it was wasted. During the scene with Veronica and Blitz, we found out that Veronica confessed her love to Blitz and he dumped her. I think it would have been more impactful to have a flashback showcasing that. It ties into the show and don't tell narrative technique. Basically, it's more impactful to actually see the characters act out the scenes and for us to witness what happened, versus them just speaking and giving us exposition. I do hope Veronica returns in future episodes because she's a really interesting character. Hopefully she goes through a similar character arc to Fizzy and becomes friends with Blitz. So overall, what are my thoughts? I personally like this one. I prefer it over Full Moon, and I'm interested to see what's in store in the rest of the season. Although not perfect, I think Apology Tour was really memorable and definitely one of the stronger episodes of Season 2 thus far. There will be a couple months of Helluva shorts after this before the Ghost episode in October. So what do you think? Did you like it, or are you not a fan of the Stolitz focus? I'd love for you to leave them in the comments section down below. Thanks for watching.